Oh, I'm gonna wait and see what the delay is like. I'll clip out the beginning because I'd hate for us to sit here and talk for.
Right.
Oh, it worked.
That usually helps.
Right.
Do something you don't want on YouTube, and it'll show up on YouTube.
Okay, we're good. It's working on the YouTube. Good morning. Welcome to the Casual Chat with Ralph. How are you, Ralph?
I'm doing great.
This is real. That's one of the fun things about this. We'll just go. Yeah, I've been looking at. I was playing around with trying to get this to work. Because I've been trying to find something that's not nearly $50 a month. Thanks, StreamYard.
Thanks to all my Patreon supporters who that money goes directly
That
into
money goes
StreamYard for me.
Yeah.
I love StreamYard, but their prices are kind of nuts, I think.
We don't have Patreon supporters because we just don't. And I just I wish they had tiers where you could, for those who don't know, StreamYard is what I think most of, at least the kind of circle of content creators that we are associated with, use to do this. I wish they had
a lot of people.
Yeah, and actually this looks like our name, the options for the name badges that are at the bottom there, like that's exactly what StreamYard looks like. So this could be the same kind of back end, but I wish they had an a la carte, like I'll pay you $5 a month to remove the watermark and stream in 1080p instead of $45 a month. And that's the only thing I want to pay for, is to not have the watermark, which they've made like almost a quarter of the size of the screen now.
It's so huge now.
It used to be like this big. Now it's like this big.
There's a they just started doing this thing, which I just accepted because I'm like, this would be great if this happens. But you have an option of having a dedicated link in your show info that says, if you're interested in doing live streams, click this link for whatever, for StreamYard. And if someone clicks that link, I get I think it's like $50. So I don't think anybody's done it, but if anyone out there in our circle of friends is thinking about going to StreamYard and ready to pull the trigger, please head over to Lanterns Live or Live Action Star Wars and click the link. It'll give you the exact same stuff, but it'll help me out. So
not to undercut that, but this is Lightstream Studio. I've discovered, and it's not as intuitive as StreamYard. It's kind of between using StreamYard and using like OBS. Which actually the funny thing is, this is the same plugin that I used when I streamed through OBS with Chris, the first one. This plugin works with OBS, and that's one of the things that I miss from StreamYard, is just seeing the chat, which we can't see any chat here. I have it in a separate window. Good morning, Stevie.
She just walked by.
It's a little, I have it in a little pop-out window, but when I click on the message in that window, then the overlay widget brings it up on the stream. So it's somewhere between like StreamYard and OBS. And it's $12 a month.
Oh, that's much better.
And it is also 1080p streaming, up to 10 guests, 5 destinations.
Great.
Remove the thing. Now, the caveat is you cannot create and schedule your streams through this. You have to do that on the YouTube side, and then use the actual RMTP link and your stream key and all that to actually be able
Uh,
to have it go live and whatnot.
uh,
Yeah. So
we had to do like we did the movie. We did a live event for Getting Lost on Eventive, and I had to deal with
mhm,
stream keys and stuff. And I was like, but it's just like it's just an added bit of pressure, especially for an
yeah.
event like that, where I was just like, okay, I know StreamYard, I'm here, I'm good to go. I know how this works. It worked great for that event. And because I was using it for my what do you call that? My contract job.
Mhm,
That month of StreamYard, I was like writing it off. just
yeah.
this is going towards that. Um, yeah, I used OBS for a little bit, but not for
Hi, Mark.
live streams. I used OBS when I was back on my Patreon channel. Uh, I used to do these, and I should probably find another one to do. These Saturday morning serials where I would watch an old Saturday morning serial with me in the lower third, uh, reacting and chatting and doing
Yeah.
whatever. And I did that on OBS for a while, and it felt so clunky to me. Like I wasn't good at it, and I think OBS is what a lot of people use for like Twitch and stuff. Um, but but I think it was Jay over at Geek Dad Life who started using StreamYard. I think this is the first time I'd seen it. And
Mhm,
what I did was I got the bottom of the barrel StreamYard, recorded my stuff, put my own watermark over their watermark, and then you just
yeah.
uploaded the file to like an unlisted YouTube so people can watch it. But then um, when we started doing that for live action Star Wars, because live action Star Wars used to not be a live show. We just covered live action things in Star Wars. Um, Once we started getting used to it, I was like, you know what, we could probably do these live.
Mhm,
And I talked to James about that. And if you go back and look at our first live episode, it's a fucking mess. Um, it's it's James is like a deer in headlights, and I'm like, it's the exact same thing. It's just knowing that we're live. And I think that was the
yeah.
Book of Boba Fett trailer. It was that episode. It's so funny. He does the intro on that episode, and it's so funny. Now we're used to it. Now it's like no big
Mhm,
deal. But when we got decided to start doing the shows live, it was like a total game changer, because for since like 2006 I've been editing podcasts and
mhm,
recording and editing podcasts, and it's just like
yeah.
the post production on editing something, it just takes forever.
Yeah.
And as soon as we
Yeah, it
did a
does.
live show, I'm like, it's up, it's done. I could
Mhm,
download the audio, put it in my podcast feed. And so that really sort of invigorated me, because I was ready to stop podcasting. But it was the Invincible show where James is like, hey, they're making an Invincible show. And I'm like, 20 minutes later, had the domain for Invincipod, and they were just off and running. But doing it live, it's like a big game changer. It's the reason why I started doing Lanterns live, is because I was sitting on my couch, and I'm like, man, it's doing live streams is great because you just do it and now it's up there. And I'm like, I was just sitting there thinking, it's like, there's like no Invincible or Star Wars going on at the time, and I'm a big Green Lantern fan and have been, and there's like a lot of news coming out where this show is actually getting traction, and Nathan Fillion's cast as Guy Gardner, and McFarlane's putting out superpowers toys, and I'm just like, I just typed it lanternslive.com in my phone, and it says this website does not exist. I'm like,
mhm,
okay.
yeah.
I'm like, all right, go over to Instagram. Instagram, I look up at Lanterns Live. This user does not exist. I'm like, oh, fuck, here we go. Jump on GoDaddy, spend the $8, get lanternslive.com, get the Gmail, lanternslive at gmail.com. And then it just like went. Like, it was just like, I'm like, oh. And then I think it was like 3 days later, because it was like a Friday night. I'm sitting on my couch doing this, And then I think by Monday or Tuesday, it was maybe Chris from Shiny Plastic People, or was it? I don't think it was you on that one. It was Chris, and we're talking about the Sinestro action figure, the Sinestro.
Yeah, I think I was in the chat
Yeah, yeah.
talking
Yours
to you
didn't
guys
come
about
yet.
it.
Yours hadn't come yet.
Yeah.
Um, and it's so funny, and I love how kind of easy it is to do. But also, this is like the only that's like the only podcast I do where it's like keeping up on the news in
Mm-hmm.
case something drops. Last week, the Superman trailer came out, and I say it every time. If there's even a split second of new Green Lantern footage, I will go live. And after the Superman trailer went up, I think I was live with thumbnail art ready to go in the studio, ready to go. And like I think I gave myself a half hour. I was gonna give myself 15 minutes, but I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
why am I doing this? But it's kind of fun just to be able to like jump on live. And all of
Yeah.
those like kind of last minute ones where it's like, oh, they released the first image from the Lantern show. It's just an image of two dudes. One of them happens to be wearing a ring. I talked about that for like 20, 25 minutes. Like, like I'm like, okay, I'll give myself a half hour, going live in a half hour, push it on socials, going live in a half hour. And then as I'm like getting ready and like cleaning up like this part of the room, I don't
Yeah.
clean up this part because my body blocks it. But I'm like, as I'm doing
That's
all
like you
that,
don't want to see behind the screen. That's why
one of these days it's gonna fall over and it's gonna be like
Mhm.
some sort of like crazy spy shit we're not supposed to see, like a James Bond training facility or something. I don't know what's back there. I always think ninjas, I guess,
Yeah.
because it's very
I used
yeah.
to have a website called Ninjas in Public,
Uh-huh.
where I took little quarter machine ninjas. My inspiration for it was the site People of Walmart. There was actually
Right.
an Instagram. I had an Instagram for it, and that, for some reason that account got locked, and I could never log into it. But
I have two of those ninjas somewhere hiding on my desk, and I don't know where they are. There's two of them. There's like a pink one and a green one. I don't know where they went.
let me see here. Yeah.
But like the
So
funny thing with the yeah yeah,
I
I have
would
one in
just
my car.
take these guys and like I'd put them in public, take a picture, and then leave them there
That's great.
for people to find, like on
Wait,
the
how many followers do you have?
um
Have I seen this before?
only 41. I don't
Oh,
know.
it's probably
Maybe
not me.
um but like left it at Universal Orlando, and like he's right there, very small, right above the
Mm.
C and Rick
Oh
Scott.
yeah.
uh
Ew, gross. Where the fuck are my ninjas? Yeah, my friends used to get them. It's like by the bags. Used to
yeah,
like
I
buy
bought
them
them from
on
like
Amazon.
AAA Global, like the actual
Yeah,
vending distributor. And it's funny because they'd call me and be like, "Do you need anything new for your machines?" I'm like, "Dude, I don't have a."
machines.
I'm like, I don't have what you think I have. It started with these guys, and I didn't like them as much. They did not stand very well. These were hard plastic and
Oh yeah,
translucent, but they didn't stand well. And then I found these ones, and these were like more of a rubbery plastic, and they stood better.
yeah.
But that was fun. I did that for.
Oh, you know what are they up there? Oh, I found them. I have a yellow one, a blue one, and a pink one on my top shelf. Um, yeah, I found a real rubbery one that was all black ninja, including the face, but the eyes were red. And
Mm.
that one's in my car. But
But
yeah,
yeah, you were talking about, the nice thing about being able to go just pop on with Lanterns Live and go. That's like, I pulled this up. This is one episode of Trek Retrek, and all these cuts and doing the overlay and making sure finding the timestamps and doing everything right. It's just going live is
No
so
fun.
much easier, and it's funny because there's a mindset, and you would think you could just be like, okay, we're going to treat this like Kayla and I have often gone to record something and be like, we're going to treat this like we're live, and it doesn't work. One of us inevitably is like, hi Nick, is like, oh wait, hang on, let's go back. You don't do that when you're live because you
Yeah.
cannot.
Yeah. We got pretty good, James and I, at like doing the live. This last week on live action Star Wars, we had 4 guests. And
Yeah,
I was like, oh boy. But it turned out great. I really, it was a really fun episode. I was just afraid of like people talking over each other and stuff, which
I
happens a
think
little bit.
everybody did pretty good.
Yeah. Yeah. I think everyone's pretty much used to like podcasting, live streaming, stuff like that, where you can kind of like pick your spots. And it was nice. It was really nice. It was a really fun episode. I highly recommend anybody who's watched Andor, watch the series finale of our coverage on live action Star Wars. It was really good. I really enjoyed it. We had Eddie Pence, who's a comedian here in like Los Angeles, funny dude. We had Adam Frazier, who's like a steel trap of Star Wars knowledge and characters and stuff. Patrick Kotner, who
Mm-hmm.
is the producer of the George Lucas talk show, and then Jacob Fullerton, who used to be on Funhouse and now is doing Astro Goblin. Fun stuff. Like it was just like those dudes were so much. It was a real sausage party, and I wish it wasn't, but
Yeah, all the comments of dudes with beards.
yeah, yeah, it happens. Uh, but it's a real fun time. Yeah. So I'm going to tell you this, Johnny.
Yeah.
Since last week's episode, Stevie and I went to KFC.
Okay. Oh, did you try the
with the secret recipe fries?
Yeah.
I think I liked them more than Stevie did. They're pretty good. They're pretty good.
Yeah.
Did you dip them in something? What sauce do you get at KFC?
Oh, let me see. I have to
Like
pull up
honey
the
mustard?
website.
Is it KFC
Yeah.
sauce? I love the KFC sauce. It used to be called the FLG sauce.
The FLG sauce?
Yeah, finger licking good.
Oh, that makes sense. Yeah, that makes sense.
But it's kind of a weird acronym. So I think when I found out they got rid of the FLG sauce, I'm like, no, it was so good. So they just changed it to KFC sauce, which makes sense. Like if it's your signature sauce, like don't have people guess what
which one
your acronym is, because they don't even say finger looking good anymore. I don't think.
No, I don't. I don't know if I've heard that.
Yeah.
They have something new called comeback sauce, but it doesn't say like.
It's not as good. The comeback sauce, I think, is like an actual thing like that exists. It's almost like maybe a Chipotle ranch or something.
I think with the fries, I just used ketchup because I may have used KFC sauce, but I probably just used ketchup with the fries because I just treated them like they were fries.
Yeah. Yeah. The groovy sauce at Sonic is really good.
We don't
and
have
their crisp cut fries are pretty good. Oh, you're missing out.
I've had Sonic before, but we don't have a Sonic near me.
Oh yeah, we have to kind of go a little bit out of our way too, like 3 miles or something. But they have Powerade slush, and so sometimes I get a hankering for that. Like a few days ago, I told Stevie, I said, I'm getting out of here. I'm gonna go to Sonic, and she like put in her drink order. Like we treat it like it's almost, because I don't like coffee. So for me, like Sonic is like my Starbucks. Like I need, like I go there just to get like drinks. Their food is good. They have tots. I like tater tots, but they have this thing called groovy sauce, which is like a ranch mixed with like Thousand Island or something. No, it's like a spicy Thousand Island is what it is.
The closest Sonic, there's only 21 Sonics in all of Pennsylvania, and the closest one is about 2 hours from me.
Oh, man, that's a bit of a drive. I
Yeah.
don't think I knew you lived in Pennsylvania.
Yeah, central Pennsylvania.
That's cool. I knew you were on the East
I'm
Coast, like, obviously.
yeah, I'm about halfway between well, I'm about 2 hours east of Pittsburgh and 4 hours west of Philly,
Okay.
which they call central Pennsylvania, but well, Philly is, like, right on the border of Pennsylvania and New Jersey.
Right. I have
Pittsburgh's
some
you've still
friends
got
from
a couple hours, an hour or 2 between Pittsburgh and the Ohio border on the west.
yeah, I have a friend from Philly, and I have a friend from New Jersey,
Mhm.
and, like, but their, like, childhood homes is, like, separated by a bridge.
Yeah.
So, they're fucking always yeah, they're always chatting about their sort of area
I
over
did
there.
have I sent back to her a picture yesterday. I said it's time, and there's a picture of my Taco Bell because I finally
Oh,
the dental stuff is healing, so I went and had my Mexican pizza yesterday.
yeah.
Uh, I I I customized it a little bit. I added Fiesta strips and jalapenos to it, which I had not done before. But
Fiesta
I
strip.
also ordered a second Mexican pizza and got chicken on it instead of beef, and that was really good. I was
Huh.
surprised because it was a little more. I think you paying like somewhere between
A
50 cents
dollar
and a
fifty
dollar
something. Yeah.
to change to the slow roasted chicken. But it was pretty good. I would recommend trying it out at least once.
Okay.
I'm surprised Vector is not here. Although I think Sundays he works. I'm trying to remember.
Yeah. Mike Trout's over there. He's from Melville, which I don't remember if it's on the Philly side or the Jersey side.
From what is it?
Melville? I think it's New
Mel
Jersey.
Melville. Yeah, I'm not familiar with Melville.
Yeah, I'm just more familiar with Mike Trout. Like I don't know that. I don't know that area. I think it's New Jersey. Um the so like the Crunch Wrap Supremes are so goddamn good and I have no
They
idea
are.
why they cost so much money. I'm trying to figure out what's going on with like fast food places. They all offer like some sort of like you can get the Lux box um at Taco Bell for like $7. Usually the
Yep.
$7 one is the one I want. The $9 one has some fucking new thing that I don't like because it's got guacamole or something. And it never makes sense to me how like the process of if you were to buy all those things individually, it'd be like $12. It'd be like twice as much. Um, the only thing chicken I get at Taco Bell is a quesadilla. Whatever that sauce is they put in the quesadillas are real good. But yeah, I don't know. I crunch cheesy gordita crunch is just
Mhm.
I love it. But one of them's like five something. It's like insane. So anytime
Yeah,
those show up in a Lux box or something, I'm like, all right, here we go.
yeah. If you order through their app, you can get the online exclusive like the the deluxe build your own Lux box is like the $7 one, and you can pick like I think that's the one you can pick chalupa, gordita crunch, or crunch wrap because that's the one I usually go with, and
Yeah.
I usually pick the crunch wrap. Um, Yeah, actually, I was making I actually there was a brief period of time where I was making my own crunch wraps at home with chorizo because I was on a chorizo kick, and I bought the burritos and the tostadas and did it all myself. But I think the crunch wraps have got smaller.
Me and Stevie are on the same wavelength. That sort of star in the middle where all the layers of the folded
Yeah.
tortilla meet. It's like if that could be like taken out and moved somewhere else, it's such you get because by the time you get to the middle, those bites are always just like three or four or five layers of just tortilla. But I mean, here's the thing: like, just bring back the
Sure.
double decker taco.
Yeah.
Just bring back the. They have the stuff.
Uh, I
It came back for
they
a minute, I think.
I think I saw it on the menu. The
No,
double
good.
stack taco.
Double decker
Or-
taco, yeah. The one with
Oh,
beans.
my cat just woo, that kicks. He doesn't cover his
Right.
business. So it gets rough. Yeah, double stacked.
Live picture of what the
This
cat
here,
left behind.
double stacked taco.
Wait, they changed the name? Now, that's a different thing. The double decker taco had like beans in between the tortillas, but that's like a new thing. They have this stuff. Oh, I hear the delay. I can hear the delay in the next room, and you just went, woo! That's so funny.
The internet.
Yeah. Yeah. But I mean, the cheesy gordita crunch is just so good.
Yeah, I think it's
My
this one. You
all-time
can.
my all-time used to be like 1996, 97, maybe 98 or 99, somewhere in the late 90s when they first introduced the gorditas. They had three versions, like a gordita supreme, like a some like I don't know, like a fajita one, and then they had the Santa Fe gordita. And the Santa
Mhm.
Fe gordita had this sauce in it. Um, no, it didn't have the sauce in it, but it had like a I'm not a big fan of black beans, but it had like this corn salsa on top, and it was so good, and I loved it. And I would tell them to put the fajita sauce in it because they
Mhm.
had a fajita wraps. So my order would be a Sonora Santa Fe taco with the fajita sauce in it, and then a chicken fajita wrap. Like,
Chris, how
Chris, there's
dare
got to be
you?
something. There's got to be something, even if it's like a bean and cheese burrito with green sauce, which is like my yeah, yeah, Steve's and chorito. Back when they put olives on them.
Yeah, that's what Vector and I were talking about with the Mexican pizza about
Yeah,
how the picture used to have like black olive. Like they
they
seem
don't
to
have them
not
anymore,
do anything with black olives anymore.
right? My
Because if you
sister
go
went.
into
My sister when the Mexican pizza came back, my sister took her Mexican pizza home and put olives on it.
yeah, see, I changed my Mexican pizza to the slow roasted chicken, and then added Fiesta strips and jalapeno peppers.
Hmm.
It was pretty good for one of them. The other one I just did beef. We're gonna find
Hmm.
out. I would say we're gonna find out how Mexican pizza reheats. But I actually hadn't eaten anything yesterday, so I ended up eating both Mexican pizzas. That was just all I ate all day.
Yeah, it's 8 little teeny corners. You're good.
Yeah, it's not like it's only 530 calories. It's like eating a burger. I had two burgers. I can,
Yeah,
that's not bad. Um,
but it's probably less calories with the chicken.
yeah, maybe. Let's see. What did it say?
Don't worry about it, dude. I think
Yeah, actually
like
subtracts 10. The chicken made
if
it
you get a
less.
looks box, you're getting like probably almost twice as much food than 2 Mexican pizzas.
Yeah, it feels weird because when the Lux box, you look and like one of the things you can pick either a taco or a beefy 5-layer burrito, and it's like it feels fiscally irresponsible to get the taco over the burrito because the burrito is so much more food. The
Yeah, but I like
burritos,
the I like the tacos. It
the tacos
depends.
are good. The burritos reheat well in my air fryer though. So I usually put the burrito in the fridge and the next day just wrap it in foil and throw it in the air fryer for 12 minutes and it's
Mm,
perfect.
great. See, this is what happened last week is I got real hungry. I'm really hungry now. We were out late last night, got home at around midnight. Um, ate at like probably like 5. I haven't eaten since like 5 yesterday.
Oh wow. It was really
I mean it's
funny
8:30
because
today, but
last week after Vector and I talked somewhere, it was like the middle of the week, you sent me that picture and like there was a sloppy Joe on the menu.
yeah, that was Mother's
I
Day.
was-
It was we were at El Taco. So this all ties in. So I don't know if you know this or not. I grew up in a town called Downey, California. It's just south of Los Angeles. It's
Mhm.
where they built the space shuttle. It's where the Carpenters are from, the band. It's from James Hetfield from
Okay.
Metallica's from there. Really, really cool place. The oldest surviving McDonald's is currently there. If you ever seen like the giant arch neon sign with Speedy on top running with the double arch McDonald's that's shaped like a box. Um, um, also the home of the original Taco Bell.
Okay.
So the first Taco Bell is in Downey, California. It's one of those like Spanish style looking little tiny places that maybe like 10 or 15 years ago, they pulled up out of the ground, put it on a flatbed truck, and transported it to Irvine, where Taco Bell headquarters is, Irvine, California.
Okay.
Um, so any of you Lost fans out there want to know, like, have heard of Irvine, California? That's where the box company is, where John Locke worked. So it's sitting over there. The creator of Taco Bell is Glenn Bell, and Glenn Bell created a more high-end, sort of less fast food, not high-end, but like a little bit more substantial restaurant that was a
Like fast
smaller chain.
casual.
Not even that. It's still a window service, but it's a place called El Taco. And El Taco is like, instead of like, like Taco Bell burritos, you get like a decent sized burrito.
But not like
Different.
Chipotle burrito.
No.
Not food babies.
No, but it's like actually like it's still got a drive through and all that, but it's called El Taco. And there used to be at one point 2 of them in Downey. There used to be one over here in Orange and one here in Anaheim. Those are gone. So the only one left now is the El Taco in Downey, and then I think one in like Palos Verdes or something, like out by the beach. Yeah, I guess more authentic. It's like it's weird. He just decided like I'm gonna do a different like Mexican restaurant. I don't know what the reasoning was, but yeah, we went there last week on Mother's Day. It's a favorite of ours. So my sister, her family, I mean Stevie went, and like I always order the same thing, so I never look at the board. And it was the day after your last episode, and I'm like, holy shit! Right there on the menu is Sloppy Joe. Take a picture, sent it to you, because you were saying how there's never Sloppy Joes on menus.
Yeah, it's just one of those weird foods. And I replied to you, and I was like, it was particularly interesting, and it wasn't like a kids menu thing.
Yeah, no,
it was particularly interesting because it wasn't like a Sloppy Joe taco. It was just a Sloppy Joe.
Yeah,
like on a bun.
Yeah,
which reminds me, next time you make burgers, and everybody in the chat, I made this is like my signature taco burgers are amazing. So you take your beef for your burger. Right. You take a taco seasoning packet of your choice and an egg.
Lowry's. I like Lowry's.
Mix the taco seasoning and the egg with a little water, because I found if you mix egg and taco seasoning, it gets really sticky. It's like gel. So you need to put some water in there to thin it. Mix that with the meat and then fry your burgers. And then you can put like the tortilla strips and sour cream and salsa on them.
Wow.
Put them on a bun of your choice. It's amazing. They're the best burgers we've ever had. I've made.
Johnny's Taco Burgers. You need to put that up on
the
or do like a cooking segment or something.
Yeah. I tried I did the same thing with with teriyaki sauce and tried to make teriyaki burgers, but they were not as good as the taco burgers. The taco burgers.
There's a place in Southern California called Islands. It's like a sit down restaurant. But that's the first time I had like a teriyaki burger. But they just throw teriyaki on it with pineapple. It's so good.
I mixed the teriyaki in with the meat, just like I did with the taco sauce. Mm-hmm. You can also put like refried beans on the bun for the taco burger. You could do anything you would put on your taco. Just put it on the burger and put it in the bun.
Torta.
Yeah.
Okay. Maybe I'll give it a shot. What do you eat with that? You do a side of whatever. Yeah.
I find not to do sides because we just want to eat the burger so much. We just eat the burgers.
Right. We've been doing like baked beans on the side because it's so easy. Okay, I know about Taco John's. Kevin, my host on All Right, Let's Do a Podcast, like swears by Taco John's. He loves the cheese sauce. He loves I think it's tots or some sort of thing, and he loves it. Yeah, we have a Noggles nearby.
I don't know
They
what
do
that
bun
is.
tacos. They do bun tacos, but it's like taco meat, so it's like a sloppy Joe. Noggles was around like in the 80s over here. They got bought out by Del Taco, which I don't think
Del
you guys know
Taco's
Del Taco.
the only other one I know of, because probably over 15 years ago now, there was a promotion with Del Taco and Star Trek Online where you could,
Oh,
like, if you went to Del Taco and got a large drink, you got like a little code
pull tab. Yeah.
to put into uh STO, Star Trek Online, to get like a little shuttlecraft that'll follow your ship around, or like
Oh, cool.
something like that. So my friend Chris, who was on the first casual chat, I was like, "Hey, I need you to do me a favor." So he had to
Dude,
go to Del Taco a couple of times to get me all the codes so I could get all the stuff
if it,
for
like if anything like
STO.
that happens again, like let me know, because
Yeah,
we're probably a 5-minute walk from Del Taco. It takes me literally like a minute to get to Del Taco. It's like 2 doors down. And I love Del Taco and highly recommend their cheeseburger. Imagine if Taco Bell sold a cheeseburger. Del Taco's crazy. It's so Southern Californian.
it's like I'm trying to think. I know there was a restaurant that was like you said. It would just be like Taco Bell selling a cheeseburger. I forget. I can't think of
Jack
what
in the
it
Box
would be
tacos.
now. Yeah, maybe something like that.
Jack in the Box tacos are, I love them, but I get it. When people say, "Oh, I don't like something," and you're like, "I get it."
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
There's oh, Stevie prefers Del Taco over Taco Bell. I've never actually eaten Del Taco. The couple of times I've been out there, I actually didn't go to Del Taco. The first time I went out to visit my friend Chris, I went to In-N-Out Burger. And the best place I ate was this place called The Loft, which was a Hawaiian restaurant that gave you a ridiculous amount of food on the plate.
Mhm.
It was astounding. Um, it's really good food for having. Yeah.
Yeah, Del Taco on the way home from a party or something is the best. The funny thing about, like, with Del Taco, like my order's completely different at a Del Taco than a Taco Bell. So for me, like I don't really have a preference. But
It's
Del Taco does this thing that I learned a few years back, and it was like a game changer. So you can tell them on any of their items, and this isn't like, I don't even think this is well known. It's not on their site. It's not anywhere. You just have to know. But on any item, you tell them to go bold, and they
mhm.
add sour cream and fries.
Hmm.
So, like, what I'll do is I'll get like a Del Beef burrito, which is just like literally like ground beef and cheese with like maybe a red sauce. Like, it's nothing. It's just like, but you tell them to go bold and you add sour cream and fries to that. It's so fucking good. And they'll literally do it to anything. If you want your taco and you say go bold, they'll put the sour cream and fries in it. I've been told if you order a shake, they like have to do it. They have to stick the fries, and I haven't tried it, but it's like a 49-cent upcharge or something to get fries and sour cream in your in your whatever.
That was one of the interesting things when I was customizing my Mexican pizza yesterday. The option to put nacho fries on it was on there, and I was like, "Huh."
On your Mexican pizza?
On the Mexican pizza, yeah.
Would the fries, okay, I could see the fries being on, but would they dump the nacho cheese on it? Or would that still be on the side?
That would be on the side. It was just I think that when you pick it, it's probably just fries without the nacho
That's so
cheese.
funny. That's so funny.
Um, you got a I'm completely changing
Okay, that's fine.
the subject here because I
You're making
have
me so hungry.
do you got a Switch 2 pre-order, right? You got your
Yeah, Stevie. Yeah,
yeah.
we got the Switch. It was a clusterfuck for sure.
Where did
Uh,
you end up getting yours through?
Best Buy.
Yeah, I got
So I
I was
told
able to secure mine through Best Buy too.
So here's the thing is like I did all the research leading up to it because
Mhm.
Stevie really wants it. I'm like, we got to get you one. She uses her Switch all the time, and it's like this is going to be great. Um, so I did all the research, and everyone had like there would be lists of like it was showing up at 9 p.m. our time, so midnight on the East Coast.
Supposed to.
So it was well. Here's the thing: Walmart 9 p.m. Target 9 p.m. GameStop 8 a.m. the next morning,
Yeah.
and then Nintendo who knows when, and then Best Buy undetermined. They haven't said when they're doing it. So I told Stevie, I said, based on like these freaking companies that are selling it, I think I want to go through Best Buy more than I do Walmart or Target. I prefer to give my money to that corporation than these other corporations. And so I'm like, okay, these are the times it's going. So she had her Target app open because she has an account, and all she has to do is click in. So at 9 o'clock, boom, she gets into Target, gets it in her cart, I think, or goes to put it in her cart, and it's just like frozen. I'm over on Walmart, which I don't want to do, but I'm like, boom, you're in the queue, but it's just a static picture. There's no
Yeah, there's
progress wheel letting me know
yeah.
that we're still thinking about things. This is literally a static page, and they're like, you can keep shopping or look around, and we'll let you know when it's time to get this thing. And then, like, when it came time to get the thing, it started like crazy glitching. The
Hmm.
screen would keep popping up real fast. If you're a human, click here and hold down the mouse button, but it wouldn't stay long enough for the progress bar to go up.
Oh,
And
weird.
I was just like going crazy. And meanwhile, as I'm going through refreshing GameStop just in case and refreshing or just like being on Walmart and then just like refreshing other pages, I'm over at Best Buy because I'm like, they just didn't say when. Like Best Buy was just like, we're not going to say when. And I
It,
think what happened is because Best Buy was like, we don't want our shit to fucking crash. They launched their Wii 2 or their Switch 2 at like 9:33 or something like that. And I
yeah.
hit it was just one of the random times, like 9:33. I hit the refresh and it was there. And I said, add to my cart. And they're like, okay, you're in the queue. And there's a little spinny wheel progress bar thing. And then like they're like, we'll let you know
Mhm.
um, when you could check out. And the progress bar was still going. And it was like, I knew that something in there was still computing that I was here in line. Like, hey, I'm Ralph over here. And then like maybe like a minute later, 2 minutes later, it said, okay, add it to your cart. Added it to my cart, went to check out, and it's like declined. And I'm like, well, what the fuck? So I did it
Hmm.
again, and it's like declined. And I'm like, and it's like, you have 10 minutes. Like, you're still good with this order for 10 minutes to sort out whatever your financials are. And luckily, we were using like our Apple card. And our Apple card, Stevie went on the Apple card thing, and it was like, we noticed the activity from like Walmart and from like all these fucking places. And then it was like a couple from Best Buy, and she's just clicked the Best Buy one. She's like, "This is okay," and it says, "Okay, try again." So I put it in again, hit thing, and it cleared it. So I think we still had like 6 minutes left in our timer to get it, but it was like our bank was like, what the fuck? So yeah, Stevie said it wasn't even like 10 minutes. Like Best Buy, oh, it's like, well, I thought it was like there's like 6 minutes left, but there was an amount of time. Listen, it was it was a struggle, and it's one of it felt like Mission Impossible. Like I am like Simon Pegg on the keyboard, and like Stevie's in my ear telling me like the card number, and it was just like slow down, and there's like a little bit of uh, frustrations and yeah, but we made it through. We persevered.
Yeah, I managed to get mine. I also like Best Buy was my only choice because I wanted to. I have a Best Buy. I used to work at Best Buy. I worked at Best Buy for
Mhm.
11 years,
All right.
um, from 2006 to what 2017. I spent like 4 years in PCHO selling computers. I spent like 4 years in Best Buy Mobile selling cell phones, and then I was a Geek Squad agent for like the rest of it. But I have a Best Buy credit card, it's like a store credit card, and I wanted to use it for the Switch 2 to do the financing.
Yeah.
So Best Buy was like my only option. Um, and it was funny because the Best Buy subreddit was going crazy because people were like, nobody could get in. It's wherever you and Switch 2 pre-orders began. Um, and people were wondering because Best Buy is headquartered in Minnesota, which is Central Time. And apparently they did this with the Xbox Series X or S, where they said it's going to go live at pre-orders will be live at midnight Eastern Time. Well, they specifically call out Eastern Time, but they didn't go live till Central Time.
Oh,
And people were thinking that maybe they were going to do the same thing with the Switch too, but then it was
right.
like you said, it was like 9:33 before, and then they went live, and it was weird because
I
it
think
was
I honestly think they didn't tell anybody what time because they didn't want everybody showing at the exact same
yeah,
time. Because they gave it like a half hour and change to just be like, let everybody else fucking like, we're gonna sell these out on our end no matter what.
yeah. Everybody
Why
was going to
why
sell out.
why crash our freaking system with these people? Let them go fight elsewhere. And like, cause like half hours passed and the guy at the Best Buy headquarters is like, steady, hold on, just give it a couple more minutes. And it was literally like
Hold.
9:33, and then he did it and it all worked, and I was like, that was great, with the exception of the our credit card was like getting suspicious because we were trying to buy a thing like 4 different places. um in this drawer right here I have a Best Buy rewards card that is like sort of split in half, like from the halfway point, and it's
Mhm.
completely white. Like, it's just like from being in and out of a wallet and stuff, but my it still works. Like, I still have my number tied to it because when I
Mhm.
signed it to Best Buy, it was like, because I haven't gone to Best Buy in forever. Um, when I went to Best Buy, it's like that count already exists, and it's like change your password. And I'm like, what was my password like 10 years ago? So so I reset it. It was cool. You see previous purchases from like years ago,
Mhm. The only thing
but
I miss about working at Best Buy is my coworkers and the discount, because the discount was
yeah,
ridiculous. Although the discount made me feel bad about selling people things when I and knowing like how much Best Buy actually cost. I'm like, what? I'm almost 10 years removed from working at Best Buy now, so I can probably tell. Like buying like HDMI cables, people would go in and your HDMI cable would be and like the Best Buy banner would be like 24.99, and
mhm.
the employee discount for Best Buy is at the time was 10% above cost, and employees
Oh,
paid
okay.
like $1.49 for the same HDMI cable that people were paying 24.99 for. And I'm just like, I feel bad. USB cables for like 50 cents for employees that
Yeah.
cost people like 19.99. It's just the markup on that stuff was ridiculous. The difference being like the laptop you bought for $999.99. If an employee wanted to buy it, it would be $999.97. Like
Yeah.
there's no profit margin on like computers and televisions and
Right.
gaming consoles. It's all the accessories.
Because they kind of have a set
That's why I
MSRP.
have my 8-bit dough separate 10 key keyboard.
I don't have that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Before I left, I stocked up. I bought probably a dozen HDMI cables and USB-C cables, even though at the time I didn't have anything that used USB-C, but I knew that I was eventually going to.
Mhm.
So I bought a bunch of USB-C cables that cost me like $1.50 each compared to what they
Yeah.
would cost. Oh, I missed the discount. It's like I wish they kind of did. They would never do it, but like Michael's Craft Store, if you work there for something ridiculous, like it might be 10, it's somewhere between like 10 or 25 years. But once you've worked there long enough, you have a employee discount for life.
Oh, that's cool.
Even if you don't, if you stop working. Now, their discount might be like 25% off for
Right.
employees, but that's cool. That's a cool reward. Like, hey, you gave us a ridiculous amount of time. Here's a benefit that you did get to keep even after you stop working here.
Yeah. Yeah. I think Disneyland has something like that for being able to let yourself in after
Mm,
you worked there for a certain amount of time, which I never reached.
that would be cool. Um, another thing that I have on our, uh, I was like, so the first week I wanted to do with this show,
Mm.
even calling it a show. I mean, it's a show. It's just it's an
Yeah.
excuse to stream. Just talk to my friends and stream.
Right.
With Chris, I had a list of stuff that I wanted to hit that I had made throughout the week. With Vector, I didn't do a list, and then I was like, oh shit, I forgot to talk to Vector about the Switch 2, and I forgot to bring this up. So I went
Mhm.
back to making a list of things that.
Just like
Hi,
bullet
Derek.
points.
Yeah.
You said you had some topics, and I was like, you didn't tell me what the topics were, so I'm really, really interested to see like what is Johnny.
I want to talk about
Oh,
your photo
great.
because um I don't know if you know this.
I don't know this. Oh, sweet. Is that
My
film
first
cameras?
job. No, this is digital. I can't find. I do have a Nikon N65
Uh-huh.
35 millimeter SLR. Um, I don't know where it is. It's in. No, I know where it is. It's in my camera case. I don't know where that camera case is.
It's behind the
This
ninja
is my
wall.
D70 that I bought on eBay years ago that I also don't use because
Yeah,
I take pictures everything with my iPhone because for me it's good enough. It does what I need it to do.
right.
Um, but
I
my first job was in Walgreens
Fire
1 hour
load
photo
lifters,
lab.
which is
What's that?
similar to your evaporators in most respects. I'm quoting Star Wars.
um, but you've been really excited about your Apple film.
Yeah,
So I thought I would.
it's it's a yeah, it's a thing I've
This is I
been.
haven't seen this one before. This is cool. I like that she's in like
I wish I knew
the
who she
old
was.
timey mime makeup.
I wish I knew who she was. We were at the Anaheim fall festival and Halloween parade, and I was sitting on a bench, and she came walking by holding her dog, and I just stopped her and I said, "Hey, um, could I get a picture?" And she's like, "Yeah, sure." Um, and that's where she stood, and I manipulated this a tad bit, just like a few pixels, so the black part of the wall and the white part of the wall were dead center, so it's a perfect
Mm.
sort of uh, blend. But yeah, she said, "Yeah, sure, okay," and I'm like, I I I took her picture, and then that was it. And I think since then it's made it. What's helped me is I just do like make sure this isn't one with my phone number on it. Um, the business cards. So I do the business cards, and if you guys want to follow anything, that'll take you to the site. Um, it makes it so much easier because if I see someone in public and say, "Hey, I'm a photographer. I like your style," or whatever, I could just hand them the card and be like, "If you want any shots, let me know," or whatever. Um, but I didn't have my cards back then. That was back in December. Um, and I'm like, I have this picture and everybody loves this picture, but like, I don't even know if she's ever seen it. and I have
Yeah.
no idea who she is. And it's like it's kind of a bummer. I'm just like, oh man, I hope you find this picture finds you somehow because it's a real. I really like that picture. It's one of my favorites, and the dog is perfect. I think I did a quick like and the dog perked up when
Um,
I snapped the picture. But yeah, I shoot on film,
yeah,
which is a
which is a
whole
wild
beast.
choice in 2025 because I know even in oh geez, it might have been 10 years ago now. Even in like 2015, I found some roles that I had not gotten developed.
Yeah,
And I had to go get them developed. Now I just wanted them developed and scanned. I didn't need prints. Uh
right.
that was that was expensive.
Yeah.
At least
Well, I'm
here in central
fortunate.
Pennsylvania. You have some boutique like real like photo enthusiast people out there who will still do developing, right?
Oh, there's plenty of places around, like in Orange County, that you can get your film developed. Just a bunch. But what's funny is I was looking for actual like film to purchase, and so I looked up like film in Google Maps, and it sent me to this place. I was like, "Oh, this is nearby." I went to this place, and it was like a photo studio where they do like prom pictures and stuff like that, like family portraits. And I'm like,
Yeah.
"Oh, this isn't what I was looking for." I'm like, "Hey, do you know a place where I can go and pick up some film? Like, who sells film?" And they're like, there's a place right up the street and around the corner called Rewind, and they probably sell like a few things of film. And I'm like, okay, cool. So I went there and it was closed, but I found that they develop film. And
I'm
so I
still
was like,
here. I
oh,
don't know
cool.
why it took me completely off
I don't
the
know.
weird.
But they I found that it was a place that they could develop film. I'd gone to a different place once and I didn't really care for the guy there. Um, and then so I went to this place, Rewind, and I got my film developed there, and I was able to pick up like a roll. They had just like some Kodak products there. Um, and I'm like, cool. Then Stevie and I drove out to Long Beach, California, which is a good, half-hour drive to this camera store because we're like, oh, there's a camera store over here. Let's go take a look. Um, no, that's not the story. We went to look for more film. Ended up at a different studio. We're shooting in Downey. Ended up at this place in like Paramount, and they're like, we don't sell film, but there's a place called Tuttle. Go to Tuttle.
It
So I go
sounds
to
like
Tuttle in Long Beach, and they have all the film you could want. This is like I've only shot like 2 rolls at this point. This is like 3 years ago, and Tuttle
had
is
you
like, this is great.
had you done a lot with photography and shooting on film before this? Or was this
Well, I
like a
mean, I
brand new
grew up.
hobby for you?
I was born in '77, so it used to be that's all we can shoot on
That
before like maybe 2001.
I do remember as a kid having one of the
Yeah.
110 cameras with the big like flash bricks that you
Yeah.
took like
You
5 shots and then you had to flip it around and plug it back in.
well, I had the one where you slide the bottom to the advance the film and you click it and then the flash rotates, so you had like 4. But then they had a stack of flashes, so you can get
Yeah,
like 12 shots with the flash because it would spin and
technology.
one, spin and do the second. Yeah, it's so
There
funny.
is a YouTube channel called Technology Connections, and they did a I don't remember if it was one long video or if it was a series on flashes and things like that that was really
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah. But when we went to Tuttle Camera, which is a great spot, I love it over there. I was talking to the employee as we were buying our film, and he's like, "Do you need to get it developed?" And he said, "Come back here if you need to get it developed." I'm like, "Oh, there's a place right by my house called Rewind." And he goes, "Oh," he said, "We get a 10% discount here on film developing, but all of us go to Rewind." So the place that's like closest to me is actually a place where like other places go to like to develop their own personal stuff, even though they get a discount at the other one. And Rewind
That's
has really
cool.
good prices. They're really good pricing. They've become like uh, friends. They're really cool people. They gave me a big stack of like 20% off cards for on developing. Huge ass stack of them to give it out to other photographers I go on photo walks with. But like every once in a while, if I go do a photo shoot and there's like I have like 4, 5, 6 rolls or something, they'll let me use one of those. So they're pretty cool. But yeah, no, I really you know, since the iPhone, like I always have a camera on me, and so I would take
Mm-hmm.
pictures. During lockdown, um, I was we were getting like stir crazy cabin fever, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And so like as soon as like lockdown lifted, I'm like, I want to get out of here. And I
I
started
like that.
shooting again with the Instamatic, the Hipstamatic app on the phone, which gives like filters and stuff. And I'm like, you know what? I kind of just want to shoot some actual film stuff. So for my birthday, Stevie got me a Holga camera, which is a plastic camera. It's a pink camera. Um,
That's what you're holding in this picture.
yeah, it's this one. It's a 120 medium format, all plastic. Even the lens is plastic.
Oh wow.
But so that's what she got me, and it shoots 12 shots in medium format, which is basically IMAX film.
Yeah.
And I started learning how to use this zone focusing. It doesn't have its those shots were on those red ones. I was using Lomo red film. It's like a yeah.
It's
That was
funny
shot
to me
with a
because to me it just looks like heat damaged film because I've seen a lot because like I was saying my first job was at a 1 hour photo lab. I worked at a
Mhm.
Walgreens and then I worked at Ritz Camera in their photo lab, and this is just kind of what like heat damaged
Yeah,
film looks like, but it can have a very interesting artistic look to it, but
yeah,
you can't control how badly it's gonna be heat damaged.
right. A friend of
Like, you
mine
can't heat
gave
damage
me
it on purpose to make it.
yeah, a friend of mine gave me this 2 rolls of that red, that Loma red. Kevin Nelson, who took the picture, my profile picture, he did that photo, as well as like my casino skunk photo and the other ones. These are all like,
Oh,
oh look,
here's
there's
these from Getting Lost.
it's all shot with the Holga camera. There's Billiam, there's Tanya.
Oh, was
Yeah,
that wait, that was Billiam? I didn't realize that at the time. I because it was once I got back, I watched his whole like
I still need to
ridiculous
watch his 6th one.
15 hours of going through
It's like
Lost.
24 hours.
Yeah,
It's close to
it's a
24 hours.
lot.
The last video is I think 9 hours, and I need to watch that one. But yeah, that's all. I get that pink light leak in there. I've
Yeah,
been
that
learning
was
how to I've been learning how to deal with it. So like a lot of times what I'll do now when I take pictures, I'll be like, okay, so scroll up a little bit. Though you'll see like a horizon like right there in the center. So that is just the same. It's just the picture with this, but I'm like, you know what? I know I'm going to get that light leak here
mhm.
because I haven't exposed my film for a while and light gets in here and stuff. And it usually makes the right hand side frame. So I just flipped it on its side because I'm like, I want to make the ground the pink part. And so I think the picture before that, I did the opposite. I wanted the sky to be the pink part. And so you get the pink up at the top. So I've learned to sort of wield this so that
Yeah,
yeah, if the camera's sitting in there for a while, or if the film's sitting in there and for a while without being exposed, eventually that right side gets pink
interesting.
on the lens. So I'm like, well, I'm tired of it always being the right side of the thing. So I'm like, oh, it doesn't have to be. I'll just take the picture on its side because it's a square format.
If
But
I
yeah,
if I saw any, I didn't notice, but can you do double exposure on that camera?
yeah, yeah.
Have you played around
You
with
could
any
just
double
it
exposures?
just it just I'm not
Oh
advancing the
wow.
film, and it would just keep going. Yeah, there's some double exposure for sure. I don't do it a lot, but there are some, and there's Patrick.
With
He
the
was on
pink.
live action Star
Does
Wars
the
last.
does the light leak in that get pink because of the camera? So I'm
That's
guessing
what
it's
I
because the
thought.
body of the camera is pink.
I'm
That
assuming it's getting in there
it's
through
probably
this
reflecting
lens.
the
Yeah, I
pink.
think it's.
light.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because the way that your eyes see color, the reason that we see that as pink is because it's absorbing every other wavelength of light, right? So
Right.
it would make sense that the pink is what's bouncing off and going into our receptors in our
Yeah.
eyes. So it makes sense that the pink is what's getting exposed onto the film because the film is working with light.
But yeah,
Um,
now that I know that the pink is on that side of the frame, I've been sort of
I'm mostly
honing
pink
that.
Stevie.
Yeah. Yeah. It's David Silverman, who has been on The Simpsons since it's before its inception. David Silverman may have, like, I think, did the original designs of
Oh,
The
I should
Simpsons.
probably put this back up here.
Let me get bigger. He's there on the left with the hat. He's a friend of a friend, and I ran into him. He took that picture of me. This was at an event where Richard Elfman was premiering a movie with his wife. It's a horror.
I was gonna say, is it Halloween or horror themed? Because she looks like
Yeah,
she's got some, or yeah.
she's got it all over. Um, there she is.
There you go.
Yeah.
Bloody
Yeah.
Bridget film.
Okay, I did not take these pictures. That was film that I found in a camera I bought,
Oh, really? Interesting. So
and
like these are.
it was on a film stock that was discontinued in 1972.
Oh wow. So
So
this is
these
like a
pictures
time
are,
capsule.
yeah. So Rewind was able to like get some images off of it, and I wish I knew who had this camera.
That's
They
crazy.
must have found the camera in like this lady's attic when she passed or something, and then they sold the camera to Tuttle, and then I bought it for $10 with the
With
film
her
inside.
holding her black cat.
Yeah, and then that's her
That's
with a cat
wild.
and a dog, and then I think there's this picture with the cat. But yeah, that's definitely Southern California house. Yeah, an old Brownie camera.
Oh,
What's this camera here? That was in this.
hold it up again. You were small. You're very small.
Oh,
Good to see it. Okay, neat. It's so funny that you can have just a plastic box with a hole in it, and
hey,
call it
as
a
long as
camera.
it traps, it keeps light
Yeah.
out until that 1/100th of a second or whatever. Yeah, that one is the Holga, the one with my car in the donut hole. Like Holga takes some pretty good pictures considering it's all plastic.
This is funny because did you do anything with it? Because it almost makes your, like, I'm getting tilt shift things that almost looks like your car is a miniature. Like
yeah.
you see
The
people do
Holga
tilt
has really
shifting and it makes
soft.
it look like,
It has really soft edges.
yeah. Interesting. Yeah, I've only used,
I have some double exposures in there for sure. I just don't do it that much.
yeah, I mean it's not something that, I mean, unless it's something that artistically you're specializing in, it's not something you're going to do
Yeah.
every day. I had a couple that I wanted to
Oh,
let me see.
Johnny's favorites, Johnny's picks.
Yeah, these are some
Okay.
that I've taken that I wanted to.
Oh,
Let me see.
is that embedded into the tree?
No, it's so I own that sword.
Uh-huh.
It just so happened that that tree, it's in a park nearby. It just happened to be the right shape and size that I could just pop it in there, and it looked like the tree was growing around it, or that it was part of the
That's
tree.
crazy.
Yeah. Is that the first one?
That's some sort of weird, like, mythical shit. Like, you probably unleashed something on the world by doing it.
And then this was just, I love when these are just the mountains nearby. When the
fog comes over there.
Early morning, the fog's rising up out of the.
Yeah, we get some of that here. You're not going to be able to see it's just going to blow out, but we have some hills over there. And the actual, oh man, there's like low hanging clouds, like right sitting on it. Looks like that.
Yeah, and they put wind turbines in, and I thought it was fun seeing the clouds like over and through the wind turbines. But these are just some I went through. There's one picture I wanted that I cannot find. It was a bridge in it was a wooden footbridge in one of the parks nearby, and it's probably my favorite picture that I've ever taken. I think
Mhm.
it's on my Photo Bucket account that they want me to pay $5 to recover.
Right.
So I'm probably gonna have to do that because I can't find. I went through all my pictures that were uploaded to Facebook and all my pictures that are on my personal Instagram, and I don't see
Mhm.
that photo anywhere. So
Do you have a photography page?
no,
Uh,
this was my niece
that's great.
uh, doing her softball, and I was this
Like,
would have
so
been
for me, being able to do that is a little tough on film, but I've been getting good at like quick speed pictures and stuff. I just did a 2 weeks ago. I went to a fashion show and it was like low light, and I was like, man, I'm waiting for these like runway models to like hit their poses, and it was just like you have to get it in a split second. And my shutter speed was so low because I needed to get light into the lens, and it was just like, oh my gosh. Yeah, like film's a whole different thing. One of the
yeah.
guys, they were all super nice at this thing. And one of the guys was like, he's like, "You're crazy for bringing film in here." I said, "I know." I said, "I've never done anything like this. This is my first time." I said, "I don't think I have enough light." I got like a third of the pictures turned out, which for me, I was like
Wow.
surprised. But I mean, they turned out fine. Like if you want to see those, I haven't even posted those yet. But
These all
but
would have been done
fun.
with the D70. I was working
Yeah.
with my D70 at this point.
Bokeh. I learned about bokeh. Uh, yeah, it's funny because I'm still learning. Like I've never really. You asked if I had done this before. I've no
Yeah.
training in photography. I watch movies and I
Mhm.
learned about like composition and the rule of thirds and headspace and all this stuff. Like I've
Yeah,
learned about things, and I
that all
think
translates to photography too, to still
yeah,
photography.
and
Oh,
I
this is
think
my
that's like my strength. I think is compositions.
this is
What
my
is
other
that?
camera.
Oh, it's a
It's
that's so
Transformer.
funny. Yeah,
This is the modern refractor. But that's one of the things I loved about Transformers was like the 80s line when they were just taking weird stuff from Japan that they had made transforming robots like Soundwave was a boombox and Reflector was like a Sony camera that they turned into
I had Blaster.
robots.
I loved Blaster.
And I think I don't think the one that became like uh the regular reflector toy did, but I think there was a version of reflector that actually functioned as a camera too.
Yeah.
I might be making that up.
Do you wanna do me a favor? Do you wanna go to apelfilm.com?
Sure. Let me
I wanna
pull it
show
up.
you these runway things because I haven't shown
Didn't
them
put
yet,
them
and I
on.
gotta get in touch with, so this is like exclusives. Well, I mean, if you know where to go, it's on the internet, you can look at it, um, but yeah, I had Blaster. My mom threw it away when I was a kid. I had a whole
Oh,
discussion about this yesterday with my sister. So yeah, that Rebel Runway Productions, like you pop into there. So this is all me for the first time doing a runway thing, and I think they turned out pretty good. Um, it was so like they were posing like split second, and so I had like no time to like
yeah, you
focus or
just
anything like that, and it was like full of fog, and I'm just like, oh my god, like it was so tough. But I think for a first time ever shooting on this with not my main camera either. My main camera that I love shooting with, the Pentax 67, has been in the shop for the last like over a month. And so I was like, I was assuming that I would get my camera back by the time this event happened, and I didn't. And I'm just like, fuck, way out of my comfort zone doing this. But I think it turned out
mhm.
good. I like that picture a lot.
Yeah, they look
Um,
good. The lighting.
it's tough. It was a 15th of a second I was doing. I think it was a real low shutter speed.
I mean, I think it looks good. I think it made there's a quality to it, especially back. these two in particular, the way
Yeah,
the film is picking up the light in the background, there's kind of
right,
a surrealness to it
right.
that I think is pretty cool. I like the way it's blending, and it probably has something to do with the fog and the way the light's being diffused through everything, and
Yeah.
you have a little bit of a highlight here on the left hand side. Like, I like it. I think it looks good.
Yeah, I they there was like 7 or 8 other photographers in there, and they're all digital photographers. They set up all the lighting. So I just kind of
Mm,
walked around the stage to a point where I'm like, okay, this side has the most light, because there's also photographers on the other side of the stage. It was at a strip club. They were
mhm,
like, it's this model who's trying to start this thing of doing like runway shows where like everything's already set up for them,
mhm,
lights, a catwalk, and stuff like that, and then like doing it at different like crazy places where they can, not have to do so much prep, like creating a runway and lighting and stuff. So,
yeah,
so
that
I
makes
was on
sense.
one end, the rest were on the other end, and yeah, you could see the poles there, but
Mhm,
it was one of those things where I was just like, okay, this is like way out of my comfort zone, but I was kind of stuck with the lighting that they had, and I think they turned out pretty good. The black and white ones are real nice and moody. That one's so blurry. It was like there was so much fog pumped into this place. But I told them, I said, I feel so bad because I came in so like ill prepared, and they're like, dude, your pictures are great. I said, I said, if you look, the color ones were the first roll. This was the second roll, and I think the second roll turned out better. And I told them, I said, like, if you guys can get me in at another time, I'll be able to like learn from this. They were all really
mhm.
cool. So they were pretty much like, yeah, dude, you're invited. Like you're good. Um, but yeah, there's some things where it's like, man, her face just is not in focus.
Is it?
It's so hard because the lights are
It
flashing and
yeah,
I'm like manually focusing.
it might not be the focus either. It might be motion blur because there's some.
Yeah.
It's
It's
hard
also
to tell
that it's a
what's.
slow. If you look
Yeah,
at the ones with some of the models were also like trained in pole dancing, so you could see like there's one where it's blurred. That
yeah.
I
I
just set
saw.
my camera down on a long exposure and just set it to go for a long exposure. I think it's up a little. Where is that at? Yeah. So that's a motion blur. That's a full on.
Mhm,
I left the shutter open for probably about 3 or 4 seconds,
mhm.
which I like that energy. I'm glad that DJ dude just stood still for those
Yeah,
3 seconds. Yeah. So it's fun. It was weird. It was definitely out of my comfort zone, but I'm like, if you can go back to the main page real quick and go to scroll down to Charlotte. She's wearing a turquoise dress there on the left. So I was talking to one of the guys about that first picture. And I said the thing with film is like you have to find your moment while you're looking through your lens. Is this the 1/800th of a second that I want to capture? And I was
mhm,
telling him about Charlotte. She wanted to do this pose where she kicks her leg up, but she's in heels, and that is on an incline, that driveway. So I told her, I said, she said, I can't do this very long. And I said, just do it real quick. And she just up and down, up and down. I said, do it a couple times. And she's like, okay, up and down, up and down.
mhm,
Okay, cool. And then I said, I'll do it on the next one. So in when I say one, do your up and down thing. And I counted her down 3, 2, 1. She did that, bam, hit it right at the perfect spot. And she got what she wanted. Like it's so if I have some time to work with the models, I can do anything without getting motion blur. But with the runway thing, I don't know what the models are going to do. Some of
right.
them would hit a pose for like 2 seconds, turn around to another pose, and it was like, okay, I need to keep track of her because she's coming out here and doing poses. She's not just going like coming out going and then leaving. So I needed that like couple seconds to like make sure I'm in focus and hit the shutter, and sometimes I'd fail. But for like stuff like this where I'm like one on one, just if this is the thing you want, we'll get it to happen. You don't have to stand there like a flamingo for 10 seconds. Just if I can spot the 1/800th of a second to capture this, I'll get it. So just do whatever makes you comfortable, and I'll hit it, and I hit it. So I
Yeah,
really this set was really fun to do.
yeah, it's different with film because of the limit. Not that you're limited because, well, film is, it's not like you have a digital camera with a memory card that can store
Yeah,
the hundreds of
right.
thousands of pictures. Because then, like with that photo I had of my niece in the softball, I probably was in burst mode, and
Yeah.
it probably just took like 20 pictures of that 1 second, and I just picked the best one.
So
You
this
don't
so this camera
necessarily get that with film.
this camera here is the Pentax 6.7. It's like a 5.5 pound camera. It's like a big giant. It like is the size of my head. Um, it has 10 exposures per roll.
Oh
10.
wow.
So it's one of those things where it's like, just I need the time to sort of like for this. It probably took us maybe like 3 minutes to set it up and you know make sure everything worked out. But it's one of those things where it looks great. It turned out great. I love the angle. I found this house, cold called the neighbor, left my card on their mailbox. She reached out. I said, "Hey, I know somebody with a car that matches your house's colors. Send it to Charlotte." And she's like, "That house is so perfect." And it was so cool that the day of the shoot, um, she pulled up in front of the house and like neighbors started coming out because it was like it looked fake. It looked like all of this stuff is all captured in camera. This is an actual house with that actual car, like the colors. The only thing I altered in
Yeah.
these, the only thing I altered in these is I think that's altered because I swapped the numbers out on the address. I didn't want to dox the
Oh
house.
yeah.
So I just kind of flipped. But the thing is, the numbers almost make 2814,
Hmm.
which is the sector that Green Lantern Hal Jordan's in, where Earth is in. But I would have had to like taken out the 3 and change the 3 to a different number or something like that. I forget what the numbers were, but it was one of those things where I'm like, do I want to spend the extra time to make this a Green Lantern reference? But yeah, these all turned out great. Like that's all. This is like practically zero manipulation,
Hmm.
um, except for the address. But yeah, all the colors matched up, and it was really nice. We had sun, like the sun came out like 30 seconds before she arrived. So
Oh
some of
nice.
these shots are a little overcast and stuff, but yeah, did I think 3 rolls with Charlotte, so I got like 30 pictures on the Pentax, and then I'll shoot some 35 millimeter as well. But yeah, that was a really good set, and it was just one of those things where it's just like I told Charlotte, I'm like, "We got to do this again." She's like, "We're moving to St. Louis in a month," and I'm like, "No,
No.
I
Oh
want to get the
no.
car in more places. Like, let's go find places to shoot the car."
So
But
that's her car.
that's her car. Yeah, she owns that car.
That's
So
cool.
it was like a vibe. Like I met her in Downey at the old Bob's Big Boy Broiler, and I said anytime. Like she started following me. Her and her husband Nate started following me on Instagram and stuff. And it was one of those things where it's like, let's do so. I said I want to shoot your car, and then she has this outfit, which is the her her. Do you remember those bowls with like the blue with the little white like roosters and stuff on it? Like that's the
Vaguely.
pattern. That's the pattern on her dress. Is that I have a picture of her holding one of those bowls. I don't know if I ever posted it. Yeah, we picked and choose which photos to post, and yeah, 3184. So I needed to change that 3 to 2. But I did rearrange it so it was 3184, so it was sort of close to Green Lanterns.
Yeah. Speaking of, did you have any other sets on here particularly that you wanted to shout out? I went through
Um,
a week or so ago and was looking through them.
yeah, not not really. That one with Summer was the first time I had shot portraits, and this was a fun day. This was about a year ago. That's the Holga. That's the plastic camera with the flash. I love that picture. This is the Pentax ME Super, which really, really did not take to the light. But if
Mm-mm.
you, I told Summer, I said, hey, I want to, she's a model or had done modeling in the past. She's a really good friend. And I'm like, hey, I kind of want to get into portrait photography. I don't have wardrobe. I don't have a studio space. So I said, why don't we go to a thrift store? And so we met at the thrift store and I went around like a half hour before she showed up and set up chairs and tables and things for her to have like little like sort of modeling spaces. There she is trying on one of the jackets that I think she ended up buying. Um, but it's one of those things where like I went in and like just set up like different sort of, here's a chair, and I grabbed a lamp from this section and put it on this end table next to the chair, and then I put this thing. So I did some rearranging as if it were like little studio spots, and that was a fun day. I kind of want to do that again. I think since we did this like a year ago,
Mm-hmm.
I really want to go back and redo the thrift store thing because they have new couches, they have new chairs, new lamps, stuff like that. So that
Yeah,
was a
their
lot of
stuff
fun.
would be changing out pretty fairly
She okay.
regularly.
So she found that pearl necklace at the thrift store, and so she bought that pearl necklace, and she was at the Getting Lost premiere and wore it. And I'm like, oh my god, you wore the pearl necklace. Is there a shot of Stevie? If you can go to the full screen of this page, scroll down. Yes. So that picture in the middle, the square picture,
Yeah,
is her putting on the necklace for the first time and Stevie reacting to it like because she put it, I was on a mannequin and it was just like these pearls like draped over, and we're like, I'm like, you gotta try that on. And she put it on and
it's
it was like so perfect. And
it's very
so
elaborate.
yeah, we sent a message, we sent a DM to like I took a iPhone picture and sent it to her husband, and we're like, should Summer get these? And he said it's up to her, and she left the store without buying them. And then
Oh no.
a couple days later, I got a text message from her with a picture of her at home wearing the necklace, and it's so amazing. I want to do. We're planning on doing another shoot once I get my camera back, but I'd like to get her in like maybe a nice like some sort of like black outfit with just those pearls.
Yeah,
Like do some black and white photos, but it's so like it was like so perfect. Those pearls were just like we're like, oh my god, you kind of need those.
it works
that
really well
picture,
with
that
her
picture looks good.
glasses
Yeah, yeah, and you can see, I love the flat
in
in the
the
glasses. It
lens.
looks like it looks really I don't know. It looks almost painted on. I really like this picture.
Yeah,
It's sometimes this stupid pink plastic camera that's like, I don't know. This one was a little bit more because it's pink, but you can get a new one of these for like $30. Um and yeah, if you just figure out the zone focusing, because the view finder doesn't do anything. It just shows you kind of basically where you're at.
yeah.
So you gotta kind of guess how far they are and focus all pure on faith and sort of experience. But
Because it's
I
just a
love
pass
this
through.
picture.
You don't
Yeah,
have a. It's not a mirror.
no, it's not a mirror, and with the viewfinder being here and the lens being here, when you take
It's a
a
little
picture,
off.
it's a little off. So I've gotten to the point where I'll shoot and I'll just do this and use this right here as my center point, and I can get things done pretty centered. So
I have not. Let's see.
oh yeah, there's a Lego Polaroid set. They also have like a 35 millimeter. Oh, there you go. How cool is that? I do the little pictures. How
It
fun is
looks like my first thought, like I see this, my first thought is Archer because of the way that the
that? See, I think James Bond.
that's one. I
Mm,
remember like my family had one of these cameras. I don't want to say I had this camera because it wasn't mine,
yeah,
but my family had one of these Polaroids
yeah,
because I remember the button, the shape and the feel and the button and the way the viewfinder, that long, essentially long tube.
yeah.
That's cool.
79.
Um,
That's not that bad. Usually Lego
no,
costs like way more than you think it should.
yeah, it depends on the set. Some sets are you're like, oh wow, that's really reasonable, and some you're like, that is fucking
This is
ridiculous.
this is so niche that they're probably like,
Yeah.
we gotta
Gifts with
get these
purchase,
moved.
upscaled baby astronaut. What's the other gift with purchase? Hang on, go back. Mini Ninja Combo Mech.
Oh,
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 that's
that's
like
that's pretty cool though.
tiny. It's like minifigure size.
Yeah, but it's pretty cool
Interesting.
looking though.
Um.
But yeah, I'm
Okay.
having fun doing that. I'm trying to get to a point where like people really start paying me to take their
Yeah.
portraits. No weddings, none of that stuff. I don't want to
No.
do any of that stuff.
Nope.
There's
That's
something that
smart.
keeps trying to get me to do digital, and it's trying to get me to like go to events and stuff. I'm like, listen, I kind of, if you look at my profile, I'm not going to shoot digital. I'd have to change my handle. I wouldn't mind shooting digital, but I feel like there's something about film where I'm really, really enjoying it. I worked with a person recently who only shoots digital, and she says she gets like 5,000 like images per shoot. And I'm like, this is how much film I have. You have, I think it was something like, I have like 72 exposures total between the film I have and the stuff that's in my other cameras. And it slowed her down. And I was so afraid she was going to be like, she had to wait for the scans. She couldn't see them immediately.
Mhm.
You have to wait like at least a week, or it usually takes about 3 days for a rewind to get me them back. Earlier this week, they sent me scans back the same day, and I was really excited about that. But it's one of those things where like I'm like, I don't know if she's gonna like my style or what I do, or put up with me being like, okay, we're gonna take one photo now. So think about your pose, 3, 2, 1, and then she pose. But she got them back and she loved the pictures. And even the stuff I told her, I'm like, I'm out of film. I said, all I have left is a roll of expired Kodak film. And that is, I said, it's black and white. And she's like, I never shoot black and white. She doesn't do black and white pictures. I'm like, all right, well, this is my only camera. I'm going to put it in this camera because I know I can use the flash and I could get light
Mhm.
by doing that. And it's sunset and we're losing light. I said, the only way you're going to get more shots is if I shoot 12 more shots on this black and white expire film on this shitty pink camera. And she's like, all right, well, let me use up all your film. I'm like, okay. And it was the first time I had shot somebody in like a bathing suit. Like I was like kind of nervous about that too, because I'm not like out there trying to like shoot like nudes or artistic stuff like um but we shot the pictures
Mhm.
and we took the pictures and they turned out so fucking awesome, and she loves them. She just put them on her site uh this week. um but yeah, I think it's like if you go on my page, it's like 3 or 4 pictures back on my Instagram page.
Yeah, I was
um
gonna say I thought I saw them.
I posted them recently. I spread her pictures out over time, so it's not just like the same person over and over again.
Yeah, just a dump of.
Yeah, the same person. So, I'm only posting portraits now on my Instagram because I don't really care for Instagram that much. But I'll post all my other stuff on Blue Sky. So follow me on Blue Sky. She is in the center there at the bottom. Yeah,
Yeah.
those. So those are Holga shots with the flash at the beach. Like light is going down fast. Like you could tell, like from there,
Mm-hmm.
the light was just going down. So yeah, they turned out really good. They might be my favorite pictures from that day.
So has she changed? Because she said she never shoots black and white. Has she changed her mind now? Why would?
Oh, I haven't asked her. I'm going to see her next week. I'll ask her if what she thinks, because she told me she's like even if your Pentax doesn't come back, like bring your pink camera. I'm like, okay, yeah, okay.
And that's what you shot these with, was the Holga.
Yeah, these are the Holga. So anytime it's a square format, it's the Holga. I like keeping the Holga square format. It
It's
reminds me of like Universal Monsters or something.
okay.
I got,
It's hard to
that's
tell
the Pentax.
on Instagram because it does like,
It's compressing and doing all that shit.
yeah.
So that's her
And
right
it
there
crops it.
at the, if you scroll down one more, that's her right there at the
Yeah.
bottom. And that's on the Pentax, the big camera. That was probably 20 minutes before the other pictures. Like
Mhm.
we were losing light, like the sun was going away. There she is again. That was also the Pentax. That
Yeah,
one she
these are the
put on her,
ones.
she put those on her main site. Um, yeah, that was a good outfit. Yeah,
Yeah,
these are a
I
lot of
was gonna
fun.
say the pink shoes and the pink sweater fit is very
Yeah.
on
Also,
brand for you.
if you go to the one next to her, Misty, the with the poke or the checkered, also the top matches the shoes. She brought
Yeah.
over a trunk. She just brought over a trunk of clothes, and she was wearing those shoes. She wasn't planning on like shooting with them. And I said, Misty, I'm like, I like those orange pants. Can you do the checkered? And she put on that outfit. She's like, oh my god, I love this outfit. I never thought to put this together. And I'm like, I don't, it's one of my favorite things is like it was fun with like summer, like being like looking through the racks of stuff and finding
Mhm.
things to wear, um and like doing all this styling stuff. I don't know, there's something kind of fun about it.
Yeah, it is a lot of fun when you're doing with did I have any? I'm gonna see if I.
It's almost like I spend too much time when I'm like on a me maker or creating a character for a
Yeah.
video game. Like there's something fun about like mixing and matching, and when she brings a whole like giant suitcase just full of stuff and you're just like, oh man, you can just wear any of these things. This was out of my comfort zone a little bit too, because she asked me, she's like, hey, do you want me to wear a bra or not? And I'm like, whatever makes you comfortable. She's like, because this shirt is see-through, and I could see it right now. Like you could see where
Yeah.
her bra is, and I was like, oh man, if she didn't have that on, it would be like I'd have been super uncomfortable.
I'm trying to
But that's
see
a good
if
look.
I have on my if I posted any. I did a lot of portraiture back when I was doing photography a lot more. I don't know if I
I've been
posted any
enjoying it.
of
I
them on
started
my.
doing it in January, so everything you see here is basically from January. So the last like
Actually, I
5 months,
wonder.
and I have a few more coming up. I have 3 people waiting for me. They're like, "Is your camera ready yet?" I'm like, "Oh, I need my camera back. It's been a month and a half."
What's which camera is it? The Pentax? Is that
The
is it
Pentax
getting?
6.7, the big one. It was a shutter capping, so I would lose like 1 frame per 10, which is bad. I don't want to take 9 pictures.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then when I did that shoot with Allison, um, at the beach, like I was dropping like 2, 3 exposures
Oh
where
yeah,
they
that's
come
not.
out dark.
Yeah, it's not good when
Scroll
you're working
through,
with film.
all the way to the end of these right here, these pictures you're
Oh, these.
on Misty. Yeah, go all the way to the back. Okay, so this one, my shutter didn't fire all the way, and it was super dark. So I just fucked with it. And look, you could see the static charge. Look at all that static charge, the blue lines coming down.
Yeah.
Because my shutter's cloth. And when the shutter goes,
Oh, interesting.
sometimes we'll make every once in a while. It does it on Cinestill a lot, but this was Kodak, which it doesn't really do it with Kodak because it's got that silver, what's it, acetone or whatever is in the film. It's like a metal or
Acetate.
something. Yeah. So sometimes you get a static charge. But yeah, this one I kind of like the vibe of after like futzing with it like crazy in Photoshop to get the lighting. Like it was really dark. Like the sky almost looked like something out of Sinners. It's like really dark.
I haven't seen that yet. I've heard that it's got a lot of good reviews and whatnot.
Dude, they shot it on film. We went and saw it in IMAX like opening day. They shot it on film, and there were shots where it was like underexposed, like you could tell kind of by accident
really?
it was underexposed, like it just happens. And I was like, this is fucking awesome. Like there's no like that's how film, you just get what you get when it comes to film.
Yeah.
And so I like that they left those shots in where it's just like, oh man, it's so underexposed, and I love it. I love it that he's like, I'm sticking with film. I'm not going to futz around with it. Yeah, it was real good.
I might have found.
Do a photo account on your Instagram and just post some of your old stuff. Go get your photo bucket, download all the things, unsubscribe from Photo Bucket.
Yeah, well, I'm seeing I have a Flickr too, and I'm wondering. I just found that I
have a Flickr.
a Flickr account, and I'm wondering if I ever uploaded anything to it. No, I have 0 items uploaded into Flickr. Okay. Yeah, so there's nothing there. So we were talking about the Green Lantern in the
mm-hmm.
Charlotte, was it with the car?
Yeah.
Yeah, and it made me think. I finished reading, and I mentioned this when you were talking to Vector about Green Lantern, the Spectrum War, and then Stranger Worlds.
Yeah.
And Stranger Worlds ended as if they were going to continue. Like it felt like it was setting up a series, and nothing. Those seemed to be the end of the crossovers.
Were they good?
I enjoyed them. I think they fit. Like, and you said that a little bit with Vector. Like, oh yeah, of course that makes sense. Have you read the first one? Did you say the Spectrum?
I read like
War?
The first issue. I just read
like
the
first
one issue. Yeah.
So you figure it, no surprise, and they kind of tease it throughout the whole way. You figure you see Green Lantern, like Kirk's got to get a Green Lantern ring, right? I'm a little disappointed that when he does get the ring, his Green Lantern outfit is not like
a cool amalgam. Is it not a cool amalgam of like a Star Trek outfit and a Green Lantern outfit?
No, it's just kind of like. I'm trying to find a picture of the one that I'm thinking of, because Kirk has this shirt that he wears in the. It's this one.
This is Chris Pine Kirk.
Yeah, and maybe that's why they didn't do it, but like in the.
You want the green shirt? Yeah.
Yeah, they didn't do a riff off of this for his Green Lantern costume, and it was really disappointing to me that's not the direction they went.
Dude,
now maybe because this never showed up.
It's basically a green, like the way it points at the stomach, like that's the current design of Green Lantern. And like they should have done this. He's even like holding a ring. Like it looks like he's
so like, and the way it wraps around. I'm trying to find a shot of him from that side where you can see like the way it fastens here. So like.
Oh yeah, it comes around the back.
It comes around the back and fastens. My mouse cursor is not showing up on this one for some reason. Actually, that's weird. It didn't. Oh, it opened in a new tab. That's
Oh,
why.
there it is.
Um, that would be a
Wrapped
perfect
around
turn
it.
that into a Green Lantern logo, or put the lantern inside the Starfleet Delta. So like you
Yeah.
have the the Delta shield, but then the circle and the two lines for the lantern. They would have been perfect. But nope. No, they didn't do it that way. It's just
Like a regular old Green Lantern outfit.
yeah. Uh actually, if I search for it, it'll probably show. Uh,
Oh,
yeah,
there it is.
that's just
I mean, it's almost white boots. What are you doing? Yeah, I see what you're saying. It's not quite, but look at the point at the where the green comes to a point. It's the same.
yeah. It is. I would have liked to see more with the gold, like the
Mm,
gold from the like
right.
rank insignia around the wrists. That's the and along the collar.
Hmm.
And it might be because this never showed up in the Abrams
Strange.
movies and the Chris Pine
Oh,
stuff.
right.
Um,
People wouldn't.
but yeah, I was just a little disappointed. I thought it could have been more like the green
Yeah,
wraparound than it was. But that was fun. And then I did read issue 1 Battle Beast yesterday.
I haven't read it. I haven't read it.
The interesting thing to me more than anything else, I think, was reading Kirkman's letter at the end of the issue, because I'm used to seeing those and reading them, but them being like 5, 6, 7 years removed from
Right.
the comic that I'm reading.
Oh
So
yeah.
him talking about Invincible season 1 and 2 and like what they're planning and whatnot, I was like, oh, this is
Here to be
like
current.
current. And then I read
That's really funny.
the first trade paperback for the Energon Universe Transformers, which I think was issues 1 to 6. I read the first 6 issues of that.
How is it? Is it good?
I'm interested to see, like I saw what you were talking about, where the guy ejects from the Starscream, goes after a fighter jet, and the guy ejects and it ends up being Duke, which will tie into the GI Joe series.
Mhm.
So I got to read the GI Joe, and then he did an original Void something is the name of the comic, that is like his Kirkman's original stuff within this Energon universe.
Huh.
So I got to read that too. There's a whole reading order that's actually on the Energon Universe Wikipedia
Yeah.
page. How do you primarily, because I started doing more, because I can't do all this physical stuff, I would run out of space. Are you primarily reading digital?
Yeah, I've been reading digital for since probably like 2011 or something. Like I was on board Comixology so early on that they followed me. I don't know if they
Oh
still
wow.
do on Twitter, but Comixology followed me at Casino Skunk. Because I was like ground floor with them, and I even met a dude. I met a guy at like WonderCon before WonderCon was a thing that worked at Comixology. He gave me his card, and I'm like, hey, like, are you ever gonna just let creators upload their own stuff? And I think you can do that now because I was writing a comic that I never got finished. Issue 1 is done. Issue 1 is complete, and I have the plot for the rest of the other 6 issues done. I have the script for issue 2 done, and I think I was halfway through issue 3 probably like 7 years ago. And
Oh
it's
wow.
just something that never got done. But there is a
I
comic
have
book, a
lots of
first
stuff like
issue,
that.
but it's done like my friend Kevin Stone like did the art
Oh
front to
wow.
back, cover to last page. Issue 1 is complete. It never been published, but the thing is, it's a sort of a futuristic crime story. So it's like you're gonna read one issue, and the first issue like ends on like a cliffhanger. Is like, well, what does that mean? I'll
Yeah.
have to read issue 2, and it's like, well, you can read the script to that if you want, and then once you finish the script to issue 2, you can read a half-written script for issue 3, and then read the plot synopsis for issue 3 through 7.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You were Void Rivals is the
Much.
name of the Kirkman book that he's doing in the Energon universe. Transformers, like the other books are all written by other people.
Mhm.
But Kirkman is actually writing Void Rivals, which is his book that is partly tying some of the stuff together.
Yeah.
Um, but you were working on a secret uh, film project too. How's your
It's going. I need
sort
to
of
write
secret?
some
You
more.
you talked a little bit about it on your Discord, but
Right. Yeah. Discord. There's a lot of stuff on my Discord. Like people on my Patreon knew about Getting Lost about 6 months. No, almost maybe a year before we announced it. So yeah, there's a lot of stuff floating around my Discord. Yeah, I'm working on a movie with friends. I actually saw them last night. And then, but also they had asked me if I could produce a podcast series for them. Um, so that's kind of been taking over because that like has finished scripts and stuff. It's like a radio drama thing going on.
okay, that's
So it's
cool.
like script readings and stuff. So that's actually like we're kind of fast tracking those because it's completed scripts. The movie requires me to write this full script. I'm about 12 pages in on that, and they're going to be writing songs, which I've already mentioned like 5 song drops in the script. So it's actually going to be closer to like where I'm about like 20 minutes into the movie, I think, as far as writing goes, depending on the length of the songs. But um, that's going to be a whole lot of fun if we can just get it going. If I can really like buckle down and get some really good meetings and start helping with the songwriting and stuff. But yeah, that movie's going to be it's going to be something else. I'll tell you that. It's going to be something else. I
It
think
sounded
the
like it
plot
from your
synopsis, yeah, but
yeah.
we're keeping
It
that under wraps. But like the folks on my Discord are really cool about like
not
keeping things under wraps and me being able to like have discussions and people have questions that helps me out as far as the creative process goes. So it's like my Discord's a really nice little fun place to get the inside scoop on some weird stuff.
yeah.
Some weird stuff. So yeah, yeah. I really want to get that like make a lot of headway on that one and just really buckle down and finish that script or at least the first draft. I think the first 12 pages are fun. Maybe that's something I could throw up on the Discord, just like as a quick.
As a here's a
Dude, it
sneak
was so
peek of
fun on the Discord, like while Getting Lost was going, because we weren't announcing people. We wouldn't announce people,
right.
like very opportune times. But I would like pop up a picture of me with like Josh Holloway and be like, "Guess what I did today?" And I'd leave it up for there for like 5 minutes and then delete it. And people would go, "I missed it," and I'm like, "I'll text you. Just don't share it." And it was like things like that because we didn't want that stuff getting out. But the Discord was so cool because they were just like the inner circle. The inner circle was very cool. Mark was in here earlier. I don't know if he's still hanging out, but yeah, he was part of that. Got some of that information, and you and Kayla I think are in there. It was just like
Oh
all
shit.
of like the 5 people. There's like 5 people on my Discord who are like active, and and like they're all really super supportive and yeah, it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. That's why I like call it the secret society because it is like a little little group of folks who just, you know, yeah.
Speaking of Josh Holloway, his new show just debuted on a couple days ago on the
Thursday.
15th.
Yeah.
Uh,
I need to watch it.
I'm gonna have to check that out.
Duster.
Yeah, Duster. I started Murderbot. I've been
Oh,
watching.
it looks really good.
I've been watching. The cast is ridiculous for that series. I've been watching Your Friends and Neighbors with John Hamm and Olivia Munn, who is she continually impresses me. Like I remember, I think I talked with Chris about this a little bit. I remember first being exposed to Olivia Munn when she was like a host on Attack of the Show on G4, and I
Yeah.
hated her. Like, oh, I was just very much disliked. And then I saw her in the newsroom, and I was like, wow, she's a really good actress. Like the personality that they had her portraying on Attack of the Show just rubbed me the wrong way to the point
Yeah.
where I'm like, this is the only thing I know of her, so I really dislike her. But she's a great actor, and I saw her in interviews on Tonight Show or something. She was on a talk show, and she was really so much more down to earth and laid back than she was on Attack of the Show. Like,
Mhm.
she's awesome, and she's a fantastic actress. And her character in Your Friends and Neighbors is so different than like her character from the newsroom and other stuff that I've
Mhm.
seen her in. She's really good, and that show's good too. And then obviously, just everybody just finished watching Andor, and what else was? There was something else that I was going to talk about with that, and I don't know. I forget. I'm gonna have to watch Duster now. I'm glad that
Yeah.
started, and
Yeah,
that's
we
by
got
Abrams
Josh.
too. That's an Abrams
Yeah, we got
series.
Josh, like, right around the time, like, during a break for Duster. Yeah.
Yeah, if it's from her the way she interacted with people on Attack of the Show, I think that a lot of that was probably things she was being pushed to do because she seems a lot more like I don't know, down to earth and laid back from the like interviews I've seen her do since she started being like a mainstream actress compared to when she was just
Mm.
hosting on G4. What were you saying? I'm sorry. I got distracted by Stevie's comment.
No, it's Stevie and I usually agree on things.
Okay, I think that's all I got. Anything else you wanted to talk about? I
Uh,
specifically wanted to bring you on to talk about photography because you made a comment on one of your shows. I forget which it was, and you were like, "I just want to." You're like, "I'm tired of talking about Star Wars and this and that. I just want to like take photos and talk about film."
yeah, I
And I
kind
was
of
like,
do.
"Well, I know what we're talking about with Ralph when I have him on."
I was thinking of like going on Instagram and putting a call out to anybody with like a sort of photography podcast to like that I'm available. I'm not like super skilled or I'm not super like educated on it, but I feel like I have definitely have imposter syndrome, but I keep just doing it. I just keep like the fashion show thing. I'm like, I do not belong here, but these people are cool and they'll just let me, they got their own stuff to worry about. So I'll just do my own thing. Um, and it turns out, and I learned, and I'll be able to do better next time. And I'm glad I went because it was one of those things where I was debating going or not. And I'm just like, I don't know. Um, but like there's things where like every time I like do one of these shoots, there's some new thing that I'm like a little bit out of my comfort zone.
Mhm.
Like shooting with Misty with the checkerboard uh, outfit. Like she's a professional model. She's just a friend of a friend, and I'm like, okay. Like for me, it's always like, okay, just so you know, I'm not like a professional photographer. I don't have a lot of gear. I have my camera. I use available light, and that's a long one. It was so it's one of those things where anytime I go into a situation, I try to like play myself down. And then I realized, like, you know what, like it tends to work out. Things tend to work out.
Mm. I mean,
So
and
so I've just been
anybody
like kind of going for it.
anybody who is a professional photographer, at some point they weren't, and they just decided to pick
Yeah.
up a camera like you or I
Yeah.
did. Like,
Again, like if you look at my Instagram page or the apelfilm.com like portfolio, every single one of those pictures, excuse me, every single one of those pictures, with the exception of the summer, the pink hair and the pearls, was shot since January. So for like 5 months almost to the day, I've been doing it, and I think that I've gotten a lot of um, great sets out of it, and people seem to like it. So
there's a lot with photography that, as long as you have an eye, your own eye
mhm.
or the eye, like that's all that you can, like, you can use a pinhole camera, which is just a cardboard box with a pinhole in it.
Yeah,
Your gear doesn't, the gear definitely helps, but it doesn't matter so much as, and I don't even want to say knowing how to compose and composition and rule of thirds, like, because knowing that and having the eye, the having the eye is intangible. Like, some people just don't, they don't know how to, like, you can look, but, and
yeah,
know, like, this should be here and here and here and here, and still not take a good picture. There's a lot of intangibles that go into it that are not quantifiable.
yeah, yeah. It's so fun too. Like when I have the camera and I'm looking through the lens, and the model or the person, the friend, the person who's with me, will do something, like move in a certain way, and I'll just be like, "That's it. That's going to be a good
Mhm.
one. Just hold it," and then I
Yep.
take a picture, and it turns out great. So that's always fun because it's like I know what I want in my shot, but I leave it up to them to kind of do like the posing and stuff. I might give like direction, like there's one of Misty where she has her hands behind her head and her glasses on. It's a real close up shot, like shoulders up.
Mhm.
And I told her, I said, I was like, I could see your eyes through the glasses, through the sunglasses. So just like look straight into the lens. And she like moved her head and went, no, leave your head where it was, but like just with your eyes, move them to the lens. And that's what she did. And I was like, that's perfect. Um, because she looked like cool with the sunglasses, but you can tell that under like the light was getting through, you can see underneath. So it's like things like
Mhm.
that where it's fun. Like I don't want to like micromanage people. I don't like telling people what to do, but there's
Mhm.
just sometimes you just realize like, okay, it's so great. Just do this one little thing and we're all set. And then it's like, okay, there's the 1/800th of a second. And I hope in a week that turns out, because I don't, I really like how that looked here. So it's a lot of fun. It feels like a crapshoot, like a gamble as far as using film, and the thought of like an exposure not getting back to me um, is just so nerve wracking. Like I spent all this time like getting a place, having someone come out and be like dressed up in makeup and in a outfit, and
Mhm.
like just to have pictures not show up, it's just like, man, that sucks. We went through so much effort, but as I keep going, moving forward, I'm becoming like more confident, and so that I know like things aren't going to mess up.
Yeah,
And
you'll
when
have less and less
yeah,
mistakes.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, and it's one of those things where it's just like my camera was just, the shutter wasn't going on everything, and I'm just like, I can't have that. I can't have that. I
Yeah.
need it to work. You know.
Especially not with film. Like with a digital,
Yeah.
like the mirror on this gets stuck sometimes. So
Right.
it'll get stuck up
Yeah.
and not come back down. But then all I have to do is like shake it and take a couple of shots that aren't going to go through, and it'll flop back down. That's not a big deal when I've got a 4 GB compact flash
Yeah.
card in here.
Right.
But when you've got 12 exposures on a roll, or 24 exposures, you can't
Yeah.
have that. And one
Yeah.
time, eventually, you're gonna have a point where the shutter gets stuck and it's not gonna get unstuck, and then your shoot is
Yeah.
done. Like there's
That
nothing
happened
you
to
can do.
me with my this guy, my Pentax ME, when we were in Hawaii the last time, and it just wasn't doing anything, and I didn't know what was happening. And so when we got home, I clicked the film, I wound it back, and then when I opened it up, the shutter was just stuck, and I literally just like put a little pressure on it and it closed right up. So
Mhm.
now I know if it gets stuck, I can go into like a dark closet, pop it open, and just like do a quick tap on that and it'll fix itself. But yeah, it's tough. It's tough with film. There was a camera I stopped using that was like only half of the roll was exposed. It's a half frame, which means I had 36 exposures still on that film. So
Oh
what I
wow.
did was I wound it back up, put it in the
Mhm.
camera I use now, and in with the lens cap on, fired off the 36 exposures I needed that were already exposed, and then I continued from there.
Yeah.
So that was kind of nice. Like I like doing stuff like that where it's just like, and I don't want to use this camera anymore. Let me put it in a different, put the roll in a different thing, and it's really fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had a thought. I was trying to find. I just remembered there was a old camera that I found. It's an old Nikon something. It looks very similar to that Pentax that you had,
Mhm.
but I don't know where I put the. It's somewhere in one of the other rooms, but it's similar, I think, to that Pentax. It's all film, all manual, no automatic stuff about it, no electricity, like no batteries, like
Like this one
it's
has a battery.
you
This
have to
Pentax.
dial everything in, which I
Yeah.
am not good enough with film because I started with my first camera was a Nikon N65. So it was completely autofocus, auto exposure, like all of that. I knew how to do some of the program modes. So, like, if I wanted a longer exposure, you just zoomed in. Was that on your end or I didn't touch anything?
I think it is. I
What
think it
did you
is. I
do?
don't know why. I don't know why I went so close.
um, and so that's similar to the stuff that you have on the settings that you have on the D70 that I have were about the same. So there's a full manual mode, auto, sports,
Auto.
portrait, and auto. Or I'm sorry, it's manual, aperture, shutter, P is program, and then the
Right.
auto mode, and then like sports, landscape, macro. Macro is fun. I like doing macro photography. There's a macro lens, so I can get like real. I've done some cool macro
I would
stuff
have
that I
showed
can't
you,
find pictures of.
but I zoomed in for some reason. But I had the Pentax 17, which is a camera that they released last year and discontinued this year. It's zone focusing, but it does have auto features and stuff. I think it was me. I accidentally opened my Firefox.
No, I don't know why. I don't like this. Anytime anybody does this as their I'm like, there's something
Don't do
don't do
that.
that. It's wrong. It
Yeah.
feels wrong.
Yeah.
But
Sure.
all right, Ralph, it was a pleasure talking to you. And you didn't have to talk about Star Wars or
No, I'll talk about
um
Green Lantern all day though.
and
So
Invincible.
everyone check out Lanterns Live. I just did a rehaul of everything this week. Logo, thumbnail art. Like I've got a new app icon which I like. It's essentially one of the symbols for a live stream, which is the dot with the little concentric like half lines coming out of it.
Mhm.
Which is, when you go live, that's the little symbol on like YouTube. It's the circle with the two like quarter circle lines coming out of it, like a broadcast.
Yeah.
But then I added a circle in between there, and it makes a perfect Green Lantern in the middle. So, and it's like Kyle's logo with the rounded top and stuff. So, um, I was very excited about that, and I'm really trying to build that page. Doing pretty good. It's growing pretty well. Anytime I do sort of any last minute stream, I get pretty good numbers on those. If it has to do with like the movie or something, yeah, I like that. It's a
Yeah,
live
it's a
logo.
good.
You put the circle, and then if you look at that black space in the middle, it's the perfect like Kyle Rayner lantern
Yeah,
shape. Um, and I have a show coming up in a couple weeks. I'll probably try to do something this week, but all live streams. I've never done a recorded thing on this, so
yeah,
the bell
no video.
icon. You should subscribe. You should, totally.
I'm
You
subscribed
should.
on your, and we'll do it here right now. Click the
I
subscribe
mean, I guess
button.
I'm an admin on Geek the F Out, so I could have probably
You
just done it
could have
myself.
subscribed. Yeah. Let's pick all. There we go. I
Yeah,
know
you
I'm
show up in
subscribed.
streams. Yeah, you show up in
I'm
streams.
subscribed on my personal pages. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, the Guy Gardner one's doing pretty good from earlier this week. The one from last week is like 1,200 views. Yeah, like anytime it's like people aren't into the comic stuff Green Lantern wise right now, but anytime there's sort of movie news
live
or show
action news, it goes.
Yeah. But I'm still covering like all that stuff. That's fun.
This is your 10,000 views on your.
I don't know
Saturday
why.
morning cartoon.
I think people. The thing is, that's the third one, and people came in and they're like, "Why is this old man dunking on a show made for kids from the '60s?" And I'm like, "Hey, listen, go watch the first 2 episodes where I very much have a good time. That third episode is just bad." Like, but I don't know why. Maybe it's because it's the thumbnail's kind of funny with Cairo like sort of on Green Lantern's back. He put Green Lantern in white boots in that shot. Don't do that. Stop putting white boots on Green Lanterns. Unless it's Jessica Cruz. She has white boots. But yeah, it's fun. That Ryan Reynolds one was fun because it was mostly a response to Deadpool and Wolverine. How it's like finally Ryan Reynolds doesn't tell a Green Lantern joke in one of his goddamn movies.
Yeah.
And I think that first flight one with Mark, either Mark brought over a lot of people or people thought since our show length was close to the runtime
that it's
of the actual thing, that it's the actual movie. But they click it long enough to learn that, yeah, these are fun. Yeah, look at that first look. The first look at Lanterns. I talk for 22 minutes about a photograph. It's so awesome.
Yeah, because you have it highlighted in the power ring on his hand.
Yeah, that was me attempting to do like a new Rockstar style or a Screen Crush style. Like they stick red circles all over their thing and people want to know. But this one I felt like it's the only thing in the picture that's Green Lantern related. So I'm like, okay, let me do it to this.
Highlight it somehow.
Yeah. And it worked. It's gotten good views. Yeah, this is where it's like Nathan filling for a split second in the teaser trailer. And I'm like, I'll do a show on that like the morning it comes out. So
yeah, that was this was the most recent one. Yeah.
Yeah, it's climbing. It's getting up there. Usually finds its way. It's fun. I have like a template set up for just like, I'm like, I know Superman trailer is coming on Wednesday. So let me prep like what it's going to be called. And then as soon as I can get a screenshot, boom, drop it in. I'm going live in, 20 minutes. So it's kind of nice to have the thumbnail artwork up like ASAP. So it's a lot of fun. I like that show. I'm having a lot of fun doing that.
Good. Like, I know when you started it, you were like, I don't need to do another. I don't need another podcast. I don't need another show.
But what's great,
doing it anyway.
Invincible's on hiatus. Star Wars on hiatus.
Yeah.
So I'm not podcasting about anything right now. So this is the perfect time because we're going to get to like Comic-Con. I'm sure there'll be a Lanterns panel. Superman's coming up. And I'm going to get to see that, I think, the Wednesday before it's released over at the Warner Brothers lot. So I'm like, I'm going to have my phone with me. If I can do any sort of report from there, that would be great. I would do it live. I've live streamed from my phone once. I caught wind that Lanterns was filming in Norwalk, which is the
Right.
city next series of the border with Downey, and I'm like, I'm just gonna walk around. I got my phone, and it. I don't think it has a lot of views. I don't think anybody cared, but as far as a proof of concept goes, I could just do a live stream from my phone, and it sounds okay. And
Mm-hmm.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, that's similar to like I think this is the first time I've used this light stream rather than like StreamYard or YouTube. And like I
mm-hmm.
said, it's a little harder compared to using StreamYard. But for me, if I'm just doing this, I think it's going to be worth it. I think it's going to work.
Yeah,
So it's definitely proof of concept. And that's like part of what this whole thing is. Like, I just want to talk to
yeah.
people. Like, a weekend morning streaming talk show, I think it would be fun. And
Yeah.
that's,
My Saturday serial show on Patreon started becoming a live show uh that I would do on Saturday mornings, like at 9 in the morning.
mhm.
Because I was testing to see how I could do it. And I was presenting footage and people were coming into the chats, and I was like, okay, this is doable. So we moved live action Star Wars to an actual live show. And then that's all it's been since then. It's really freeing to be able to do this stuff without having to do post editing,
Yeah.
stuff like that.
Yeah. We're probably not going to finish Trek Retrek in the way that we had been doing it. If at this point we even finish. Kayla's been really busy.
Yeah.
I was taking a step back anyway, and like I'm done with. I don't want to be. I don't want to be in charge of. Like I'm happy to come on and talk about stuff, but I didn't want to be in charge of running the show or doing.
Scheduling and stuff.
Yeah. Well, she mostly did that. She did most of the stuff with getting who was going to come on and whatnot. But I did
Mm-hmm.
all the tech stuff. And for Trek Retrek, I did all the posts, like putting our clips together and graphics and whatnot. I just didn't want to do it anymore. If we do finish the Trek Retrek, the season 3 of Star Trek, it will probably be live streams or one big live stream where we just talk about everything
Yeah.
left. But I think the series was losing her a little bit. I don't think she's excited to go through and finish watching the original series.
Mm-hmm.
She's excited. We're excited about Strange New Worlds though, so we'll probably be covering that when the new season
Yeah.
of Strange New Worlds debuts. But for a casual chat, Shiny Plastic Chris is going to be next Saturday. I believe it was the 24th. I need to check that. Might be the 25th.
Yeah.
It might be Sunday.
I'm gonna be next weekend is busy for me. I'm actually after this heading up to LA to do a rehearsal. I'm producing a short film that we're shooting next weekend. Just something new and different, and another thing that it's going to be out there. It's
Saturday.
a lot of stuff on my plate. None of it's making money. So I like appreciate my Patreon supporters so much. I owe them so many podcasts and stuff. Really need to get the is it a Mad Ball? No, what is that? Who's that guy?
That's a Beholder miniature. So it's a D&D monster
Okay.
that I'm working on painting.
Mad Ball. It's cool.
Yeah, he does look like a Mad Ball.
It's cool, but yeah, so shout out to my Patreon folks. They're great. It's $1. You got $1 to spare.
Yeah.
That's what's great.
Yeah, yours isn't like $5, $10 a month. It's just $1.
Yeah, Allison, it kind of dropped off, but like at some point I need to get on your show. We talked about it, and Sundays are tough because like today at 11 is when we do our weekly Fireball Island game over Zoom, and I'm not going to be able to make it. So yeah, I'll let them know that. And then my camera zoomed in.
Yeah. All right, where else? So we covered Casino Skunk, Lanterns Live,
Just
Apple Film. Anything else that I think that's it. It's live action Star
yeah.
Wars, Invincipod, all that stuff's on YouTube, and all of it is linked through Casino Skunk, right?
I mean, the best thing to do, like if you want to follow, like I mean, just go to casinoskunk.com. There's a drop down menu that says podcast. You'll see a list that's way too long, and you can pick and choose anyone you like. Or I don't know. I don't think I've ever once promoted this, but there's a Casino Skunk master feed on like Apple Podcasts and I think maybe
Oh,
Spotify, where it takes everything from my Casino Skunk page. So like you open it up and it's like you get your Lanterns Live, you get your live action Star Wars, you get everything. So I think if you go to Apple Podcasts, I don't know if you listen, it'll say it'll say Casino Skunk Production. It'll say like live action Star Wars, and it'll say like artist, and it'll say Casino Skunk Productions. If you click that Casino Skunk Productions, it shows you all of my podcasts. But there's also the logo where it's like the master feed is you can just, if you just like me and like all my shows, you can just be subscribed to that one thing.
yeah.
It's cool. Yeah,
I
awesome.
watch the video stuff on YouTube because I have I work from home, and at my desk I bought a like 8 somewhere between 8-10 inch Kindle Fire, because I'm like, it's cheaper. I don't care about the lock screen ads because it's literally going to be plugged in all the time and unlocked. So I just have it sitting there, and I run YouTube stuff on that while I'm working
Oh,
on my
yeah, I'll
work
do the little
laptop.
pop out window and I'll stick the YouTube up in the little corner and like listen to that while I work.
Yeah, well, I work with it. It's a work laptop that is owned
Oh
by the
yeah, yeah.
state,
Okay.
so I can't do anything on it. So I
Yeah,
just have the tablet sitting next to me.
that's works.
And I just remembered I need to send James a message. I want to get James on for one of these. It might work okay for him. It's going to be hard with there
The
might be
baby.
hard with Indy and having a kid now, but it's like
Yeah.
it's like 4 or 5 o'clock in the afternoon in London. So I feel like he
Yeah,
might
we
be able
do
to.
we do our show at like 9, which is like, 5 or 6 o'clock his time.
Yeah. I got to send him a message and see if he has the capability to come on
And you got a 3-hour
and talk.
jump start too
Yeah.
on me. So
Yeah.
yeah, have him on.
Okay. All right, Ralph, it was fun. I'm going to end the stream.